I'm Debrianna Mansini, and I am the creator of Cyphers and also the co-writer, and I play Helen Sawyer in the series. Helen Sawyer is related as a sister to Lilith. We have a strained relationship, much like many sisters do.
Helen, I have a receptionist, you know.
Do I need to make an appointment? Helen herself is in a corporate environment and has been for many years and has many times hit that glass ceiling, and she's a little bit sick of it.
What happened to the trailers?
What are you talking about?
The trailers where the project workers slept.
She's at a point in her life where she just doesn't want to pretend that she doesn't see anything anymore or doesn't have a voice. And so it's a moment for Helen where she's coming into herself, into her power. She's recognizing who she is as a person, and she's stepping into herself.
I'm going back there, and I'm not going by myself.
I think that that is an issue that happens for a lot of women along their life journey, where they get stifled by either a company or a relationship, and they tend to not pay attention to who they are. And at some point you look at yourself and say, am I going to keep taking this same path to frustration in who I am and what I'm doing in my life? And at a certain point, I think a lot of women look at themselves and say, I'm not going to do that anymore.
What are you involved with, Aiden? Is this just testosterone or some kind of fish fetish?
In our male characters, they're also coming up against issues in their lives that they may or may not have been paying attention to. And when it comes to our own survival skills, I think we possess both sides of the same coin. We both possess a feminine principle and a masculine principle. Now, some women go through life and they become attached to a more masculine principle to make it in a corporate world or in the field of profession that they've chosen. The crux of the series is about food and water, and those tend to be feminine issues. What she's discovering in her company is sort of the crux of what Cyphers is about. There's corporate madness going on, and she starts to stand up to it. It's a Davy versus Goliath kind of story, where people start to come together and they realize that something's happening in a fundamental way to how we are living on this planet, and we need to do something about it. And that's what these people are finding. They're going to do something about it. We're wondering about our basic necessities. Where is our water coming from? Where is our food coming from? And what's happening to it in ways that we can't perceive? Those are questions that people have to answer in their everyday life, whether they're working in a corporation or not, because we face that every day when we walk down the grocery aisle. What's influencing them? What's pushing on their consciousness to discover what's happening in their lives? We came up with 5 essential characters, these 5 characters that come on to some kind of knowledge that's imparted in their lives through archetypical means. So whether Helen's having a dream that keeps reoccurring with a particular archetype in it, or Lilith is influenced by a certain archetype in her life that she may or may not know consciously. That's happening to all the characters, and so that's part of the adventure, the story that's running underneath. It came into being because a number of us worked on a 48-hour film project, and you have 30 minutes when they give you an object, a line of dialogue, and a genre, and you have to come up with, within 30 minutes, something that you're going to film in 48 hours, a storyline. And so we started shooting out these storylines, and they were so exciting to me. I thought, gosh, any one of these could be an interesting story, an interesting film. And so at the end of the 48-hour film festival, I thought, why are we waiting? Why are we waiting for a competition to do something? We have all the means to do it now, certainly with web, as a web series, and equipment, and we had the talent. I gathered a bunch of my women friends and a couple of guys, and we got together, and over the course of a year, over many dinners at my house and many a night talking, what kind of characters did we want to play? What kind of storyline would we be interested in? And we kind of started from characters. What kind of women did we want to portray? What's happening in our own lives and in the lives of people that we know that's interesting and where we're struggling to find an answer? I just remember calling Lori, my co-writer and also a character and actor in this series, from an airport in Connecticut and saying, I have it. It's two corporations fighting for control of food and water. And from then on, it was the leaping off point for our story. Being able to share a story like this, sort of coming in through the back door through an entertainment vehicle, gives us a way to talk about these issues. If you're driven to find out more about what we're talking about, then you can do that for yourself. Otherwise, you can just sit back and be entertained. So it's an interesting new wave of media, I think webisodes are.